Hey, what's up? I'm X. Bounty Hunter and Deadman Mode Apocalypse have been phenomenally successful PvP updates, allowing a good amount of PvM and PvP to coexist in new and exciting ways. This was not always the case, however, and if you're a weird 20-something-year-old like myself, you might remember the dark days of RuneScape 2 when the removal of the free trade happened. I know, another YouTuber talking about the removal of the free trade, but I promise you mine is different. To quickly catch you up to speed, Jagex was going after gold sellers and partially botting in big and controversial ways. You would no longer be able to trade freely among players. Depending on the progression of your account, you would be able to increase or decrease your limit by maybe a couple 100,000 coins. This was obviously unsatisfactory. You might think that a way to work around this would be to simply die to the person in the wilderness, but Jagex thought of that as well, as on December 10th, 2007, they changed the way the wilderness would work for years to come. No longer could you receive your opponent's items you were fighting, no. Instead, there was a new system called Earn Potential. With this system, the longer you remained in a PvP area with at least 75,000 coins on your person, you would earn small increments of EP. When your EP was high enough and you killed a player, rather than receive that player's items, you got a random selection of unique items that Jagex decided you could have. Now these items varied in their prices from a couple 100k to millions. People quickly learned that the only requirements someone had to meet to trigger this unique drop was to kill a player who was risking more than 25k in free-to-play or 75k for members. Thus, the incredibly infamous 76k trick was born.
I'm gonna kick you now, kick you in the nuts.
I'm gonna freeze you just to piss you off.
You won't do it. I'm gonna use my ring of life
Yeah!
on you.
Suck it.
Wow, man. Bye-bye 80k.
RuneScape players are rodents, and as rodents so often do, they will find their way into any crevice or atmosphere that would make them some lovely cheese for their efforts. Players would spend a lot of time gaining high EP in PvP, and then when they were at about 100%, they would look for another player to assist them. Most players would simply advertise, 76k trick, anyone? And you and that player would go to the wilderness. When out there, the person who was meant to be killed would have 76k in coins on them. After the death, you would meet the other player for your 76k back, and you would do the same thing to them. Sometimes this would result in gaining several million gold off a very small initial investment, as most of us were tiny little stupid idiot babies who got their money from working tireless hours in the flax field. People quickly realized that they could make a lot of money in a short time off these players. They would pose as someone looking to do the 76k trick with someone, but insist that you would have to go first. They would kill you and you would end up back in Lumbridge, aka very far away from them. By the time you got back, the scammer would be long gone with your money and your trust. I tried to explain this to my therapist as a root for one of my trust issues, but she simply offered to trim my armor. The 76k trick is such a poignant memory for me, and not one that I think anyone has made a video specifically on. Thank goodness that this update was removed and free trade in the wilderness came back. I'm also incredibly happy that it did exactly what it sought out to do. I mean, could you imagine a game that was just run by gold farmers and bots? Oh no.